The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with Mary Wilson.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today for a special edition of Simply Southern. I'm Mary Wilson. In celebration of this great nation of ours, we've gone into the show archives to pick out a few stories with an all-American flavor. Like the wood-smoked aroma of slow-cooked meat on the smoker. Hungry yet? Well, we've got you covered as we take a look back to when Kevin Worthington visited Bishop's Barbecue in Colbert County. The freedom we enjoy certainly isn't free, and honoring the heroes who died protecting that freedom is the mission of the Fallen Warriors Project. Speaking of tributes, we'll remember the time Samantha Carpenter visited Montevallo's American Village, where our nation's history comes to life. But to kick off this salute to the red, white, and blue, how about some good old Army green? We'll rewind to Jim Allen's joyride in a Vietnam-era Huey helicopter when Simply Southern continues.
What sustains us? Food? Family? Faith. Alabama farmers live those things every day. They conserve our resources, clothe our families, and fill our tables. They cultivate jobs for our communities and values for our future. Farmers grow it all right here in Alabama.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
The United States Army can't claim the flashy jets of its Air Force brethren, but America's oldest service branch is certainly no stranger to the sky. Raising public awareness of this airborne legacy inspired a group of Ozark veterans to restore a fleet of historic Army aircraft to flying condition. And Jim Allen got to hitch a ride.
Whether it's in a movie, documentary, or a picture in a book, there are few images more symbolic of the Vietnam War than the Bell UH-1 Iroquois, better known by its nickname, Huey.
A lot of 58,000 names that are on the wall in Washington, they were either directly or indirectly affected by the aircraft that's behind me in one way, shape, or form.
That was what took them to battle, took them out of battle, brought them to the hospital when they got hurt. Just about anybody that ever served in Vietnam had some experience with the Huey helicopter.
Today I'm getting the opportunity to take a ride in this iconic bird, one of a number of historic Army aircraft restored to flying condition by Friends of Army Aviation Ozark, a dedicated group of veterans and civilian volunteers seeking to preserve the Army's airborne legacy.
It started in 98, 99 time frame, and the founder was Brigadier General Dave Allen, who passed away this year on the 17th of March. The organization, we go out and we look for aircraft that we can actually put into our fleet. 123, which is behind me, is the aircraft once it was finished and completed, and we actually fly the aircraft behind us.
The Huey is one of several Army aircraft Doc and his crew take all over the Southeast to educate the public on the vital role air power has served the guys in green. Whether it was scouting enemy positions, transportation, medical support, or firepower, aviation has played a vital role for the Army, especially during Vietnam, often referred to as a helicopter war. Folks not only get a chance to see this old bird up close, they get to suit up, strap in, and experience some live action maneuvers.
We climb to 1,000 feet, and then we just do some basic 45-degree turns, 30-degree turns. We do a little collective, we do bottom the collective out so they feel that sensation of what happens if we get shot at, you push the collective down. Nothing drastic, but it just teaches the individual in the back the maneuverability and the flexibility of that aircraft.
The money generated from these rides helps restore aircraft like this additional Huey and a Cobra gunship the group hopes to add to their fleet in the future. Watching these classic aircraft return to the skies brings an awareness words and pictures can't match. From air show rides to flyovers at ball games, hearing the Huey's distinct rotor chop leaves an impression, which may one day inspire a new crop of pilots to go green.
When we go to air shows, especially when kids come up, I'll tell them, you know what? If you scream really loud, he'll give you a real good ride. And guess what happens after that? And they'll say, what? I said, you want to be a pilot, so you can do the same thing.
But the Huey also serves as a reminder of those she carried into battle and the wounded she took away. For many who served, this old bird was their first ride on the journey home. And today, a ride with this old friend is a time to remember and perhaps to heal.
One of the mainstays of this organization is to ensure that our veterans know that they are not forgotten. We have really, in our short period of time that we've been flying, have been able to provide closure to a number of Vietnam veterans with their families. When we go into an LZ and they're standing out there waiting to get loaded on the aircraft, you can always tell the one that was in Vietnam, and you could see his family off to one side of it, and they're just talking, having fun, because it's just going to be a ride for them. But he's back 50 years ago when he was in Vietnam. We take off, and the next thing you know, I'm asking the crew chief in the back, how's that family doing? And he'll say, Doc, they're talking up a storm. The whole family go together, and they're over in the corner, and they're talking, and they're talking, this is what Dad did, this is what he did in Vietnam.
Jim and many others have had the chance to experience a Huey ride thanks to the Friends of Army Aviation. They continue to showcase their historic aircraft at events across the Southeast. In 2019, they dedicated one of their Huey helicopters in honor of General Patrick H. Brady, who graduated Army Aviation School from Alabama's Fort Rucker and is the only Army Vietnam veteran awarded both the Medal of Honor and the Distinguished Service Cross. After the break, we'll bring you one of the most touching stories I've had the privilege to share as we showcase the work of the Fallen Warriors Project.
Wear long pants, long sleeve shirts, and closed-toed shoes. Don't be ticked. Use repellents with 20% DEET on skin and 0.5% permethrin on gear and clothing. Don't be ticked. Avoid sitting on rotten logs or stumps. Don't be ticked. Protect yourself from serious tick-borne illnesses and seek timely treatment to prevent long-term problems. No hunters were angered in the making of this film.
Get discounts on national brands and at local businesses with your Alpha Farmers membership. Members save hundreds with Ford, John Deere, Case IH, and Caterpillar. Plus, enjoy special rates at Choice and Wyndham Hotels. Benefits include rewards at Office Depot, Priester's Pecans, tourism destinations, and more. Download the Alpha Perks app, visit alphafarmers.org/perks, or stop by your local Alpha office and start saving today.
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world.
We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
Some of the best things in life start with a bundle. And some of them can actually save you money. Like when you bundle your auto and life insurance with Alpha. Protect what's important to you at a price you can afford.
All for a better life.
Alpha Insurance.
All for a better life.
Ask your local agent about Alpha's Auto Life discount.
Washington, D.C. is filled with memorials to the brave men and women who gave their lives in times of war. From the two world wars to Korea and Vietnam, these tributes highlight the sacrifices our nation's military have made defending our freedom, with one notable exception, the global war on terror. One veterans group in Alabama is correcting that oversight by creating memorials to Alabama's fallen warriors.
Andrew was very active. He played every sport. He had endless energy. I just never believed we would get that call. But we did. And Kenneth called me, and I knew the second I heard his voice that Andrew had gotten killed.
Army Specialist Andrew Hand was 25 years old when he died in the line of duty in Afghanistan in 2010. He's also one of the first to be honored with a bronze bust through the Alabama Fallen Warriors Project, a nonprofit focused on memorializing Alabama's servicemen and women killed in the War on Terror.
We want them to know that we see their sacrifices and what they gave to our country. And if they'll just give us a chance, we will figure out a way to honor their son or their daughter or their father that served in time of war.
Andrew's bust is one of 3 included in the Gateway Pentagon Plaza, part of the Veterans Memorial Arbor at Aldridge Gardens in Hoover.
It's a relief that you don't have to go to the cemetery all the time. And I'd say a lot of other people that he knew, comes here. I have people that visit Birmingham that's our friends and they want to go see. So it means a lot to us.
I love that he's not in the ground, he's above ground with the bust. And the setting here is beautiful. It's very calming and healing.
So far, money has been raised to complete 9 busts. But there are at least 120 Alabama veterans who have given the ultimate sacrifice in the War on Terror.
We can actually build 1 bust per month. So at 110, 111 to go, that's a 10-year project. So what I hope to do is through awareness like this and different media and what have you, is that I'll be able to connect with the families and we'll raise the money to honor all these veterans.
The heavy task of sculpting the bust lies with retired Marine Colonel Lee Busby. He works with the veterans' families to collect photos and spends a couple months perfecting the sculpture in clay.
I was drawn to the uniform because it provides so much variation for a sculpture. It adds a certain gravitas or distinction to a piece.
The University of Alabama also plays a pivotal role in the project. Art students assist Colonel Busby, and the final pieces are cast at the university's foundry. But before the pieces go to the foundry, the families are invited to Colonel Busby's studio in Tuscaloosa to observe his work and offer suggestions.
It's a scary moment, actually. I had one where truly the sculpture was not at a stage to be looked at yet, and the mother sat down in front of it and looked at it for a minute and goes, got a lot of work to go. I asked them to come back down with some trepidation. And the same mother came in and sat down in front of it, and big old tears just started running down her eyes. So that's when you know to stop. You've got it.
While the process can help families grieve and heal, the greatest resolution seems to come from knowing these statues will be visible reminders of sacrifice and patriotism to all those who walk by.
They're going to be here for hundreds of years, and to have them out in the communities where these men were from, what a great donation that's there in public view for eons to come.
I always say that we'll never forget, but sometimes I think they do. But I know his sacrifice was for the good of America.
You just feel good when you leave here. And the sadness, will always be there. But if you can turn that into something good, I think that's a good thing.
Remembering those who defend our way of life is a small price to pay for the blessings we enjoy as Americans. For more information on how you can help recognize Alabama's fallen warriors, visit alabamafallenwarriorsproject.org. Next on this All-American edition of Simply Southern, we hearken back to Samantha Carpenter's tour of a truly historical and educational Montevallo institution.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the second largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make and proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.
Farm Bureau Bank has built its entire existence around the lifestyle and needs of farmers and ranchers across America. We're here to help grow traditions, give back to agricultural communities, and offer financial convenience for your unique way of life. From sunup to sundown, we are committed to serving you.
Seriously?
Have some respect. Pick it up, man.
Did you just litter?
Take pride in your school. Pick it up, man.
Clean it up, dude.
Besides keeping your campus clean, adopt a mile with roadside cleanup. Attend the next Coastal Cleanup Day or pitch in on the annual Spring Cleanup campaign. Make a difference by picking up litter and
Don't drop it on Alabama!
Support healthy food from local farmers by purchasing a Farming Feeds Alabama license plate. The tag funds education and promotion efforts, including Ag in the Classroom, agricultural scholarships, and youth programs. Get your Ag tag today.
I take pride in the product that we produce as a catfish farmer. Hi, I'm Willard Poe, and I'm the 2019 Alabama Catfish Farmer of the Year. When I go out to a restaurant and see people eating U.S. farm-raised catfish, that gives you a sense of pride and a sense of joy, knowing that you have produced a product that other people enjoy. Other people love to go out and eat.
Today on Simply Southern, we're celebrating the good old US of A, but there's a little hamlet tucked away in the city of Montevallo where that happens all year long. Let's turn back a page and show history to the time when Samantha Carpenter visited American Village.
And I say, no taxation without representation. No taxation without representation.
These fifth graders from Griggs Elementary in Mobile are experiencing a history lesson they aren't likely to forget. Although it looks like a field trip to Mount Vernon, this class of students is among countless others across the Southeast, taking advantage of one of Alabama's educational landmarks.
The American Village has been open now 16 years. It's an Alabama treasure. In fact, it's a national treasure located here in Alabama. Our mission is to teach and inspire young people for good citizenship. And we do that by immersing young people in programs that remind us of our common stories as Americans, how it is that we got our liberty, how it is that it's our responsibility to act as citizens to uphold it.
American Village brings the history to life and allows students to not only see it play out, but partake in it as well.
But if you were not spies, I suppose that all of you would be loyal subjects of His Royal Majesty King George.
When students arrive, they step into the scene of history. They are immediately engaged and inspired in our vignettes. They are thrust into the Stamp Act rally where they will chant no taxation without representation.
Whoa.
They march with George Washington's Continental Army. They learn about manners and dress at Mount Vernon and might even learn a little dance or two.
Did you learn how to bow?
Yes.
Can you show us how to bow?
We love American history, and the American Village has just made our classes come alive. Just to watch the children interact with the skits and all the characters, it just brings it to life for them.
What was your favorite part?
Well, Miss Samantha, everything was actually my favorite part. I have a whole lot of favorite parts, and my most exciting favorite part was being here and having fun.
Replicas of Mount Vernon, the Oval Office, and the Liberty Bell can be found among the more than 20 historically inspired buildings covering the 183-acre campus. Although it's a popular attraction both with schools and the public, encouraging interest in our nation's history is the American Village's primary mission.
So you hold an election. You vote.
I learned that, they all
came together, and it took them a while to decide. They had to go through a lot of talking, and they finally decided to do a democracy.
The American Village came about because in many ways our country is facing a growing national amnesia. One of the most powerful ways you learn science is to have a lab. So you put into action these principles you've been talking about. Well, we hope to be for history and civics and government that lab. George Washington said, liberty is an experiment in the hands of the American people. We think every generation has to learn about its role. And so it is a lab in the same way to discover history isn't dull dates and facts, it's the story of we the people.
Move along.
For Simply Southern, I'm Samantha Carpenter.
American Village hosts a number of educational and fun events throughout the year, from their spectacular 4th of July fireworks extravaganza to the Spring Festival of Tulips and a variety of living history programs. Keep your eyes on AmericanVillage.org to see everything that's coming up. And while we're on the subject of things that grow, you can find plenty of agriculture news and farmer feature stories on the Alabama Farmers Federation's website at alphafarmers.org. Plus, get the most up-to-date information by following the Alabama Farmers Federation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Well, I hope you brought your appetite, because we'll be looking back at one of the most delectable features from Simply Southern's 5.5 seasons. Kevin Worthington shares the scoop, but not his food, after this break.
There's nothing quite like sitting down to a home-cooked meal with fresh vegetables from the garden. With Bonnie plants from your local quality co-op store, you can enjoy the freshest vegetables right from your own backyard. And no matter if you're a raised bed gardener, a rose gardener, or if you farm hundreds of acres, your quality co-op store has exactly what you need to get the most out of your plants. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
FFA makes a positive difference in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success through agricultural education.
We're strengthening American agriculture and providing our members with the skills needed to build healthy local communities, a strong nation, and a sustainable world.
We are the next generation of agriculture.
It's our turn now.
Let's show the world what we can achieve together.
We are FFA.
The versatile peanut, meat of the earth, friend of the soil, tasty, nutritious, packed with protein. And Alabama peanut farmers nourish some very special things: families, communities, and Alabama's economy. Peanuts. Good for you, good for Alabama.
For more Simply Southern, be sure to follow us on social media. And while you're online, visit our website, simplysouthern.tv.net. Simply Southern will continue in a moment.
We believe a plant should be more than a plant. This one is. It's all you need for your garden to succeed, because it's a Bonnie plant. It represents hundreds of varieties of Bonnie's quality veggies and herbs. But more, it's from generations of Bonnie people who are passionate about sharing their love of gardening with you. Look for this little Bonnie plant and a whole family of plants like it in your garden center. Bonnie plants, so you'll know how to grow.
We wrap up our salute to America in tried and true fashion with barbecue. It's been a few years since Kevin Worthington brought us the story of the Bishop family, who transformed their hog farming operation into some of the finest barbecue you'll find in the state. Sampling some of that tender, smoky goodness straight off the pit still has Kevin smiling to this day.
For 3 generations, members of the Bishop family have made their living farming. But over the past 4 decades, they've made their name cooking barbecue.
When we cook 2 days a week. They bring me on Monday mornings at 7 o'clock, they'll bring me 5,200 pounds of Boston butts. That's approximately 600 pieces. We'll put half of it on Monday, and then Tuesday we'll load the other half.
Luther says the secret ingredient that makes their barbecue so good is just hard work, because the only thing they put on the meat is salt. After about 20 hours over a hickory fire, 7 or 8 employees pull the 8-pound pieces of meat apart and vacuum seal it in 1 and 5-pound bags before shipping it all over the country.
We never wanted to have a restaurant, and we knew we had some good barbecue, but we didn't know how to package it. That was the secret to it, is the vacuuming. We're going to package it while it's still extremely hot, and we get it sealed. This has a very long shelf life, just refrigerated, and just about eternity if it's frozen.
Besides barbecue, the Bishops also bottle and sell their own brand of vinegar-based barbecue sauce. But as Luther's father, L.O. Bishop, once said, if it's good barbecue, the only thing you really need to put in it is your teeth.
There's no wrong way to barbecue, it's just different. And our system is we're going to try to cook the flavor into it. And we're going to lose a lot of weight doing that. So our barbecue may be a little higher than other people's, but we think you're getting a little better quality. We don't put any filler in it. All we're going to do is put salt on it before we put it on the pit, and then we're going to try to cook that flavor into it.
If you're a backyard chef, Luther says you can impress your friends at your next cookout if you'll just remember this important tip.
I always put the fat side up. When it's cooking, that fat will, as it's cooking, it will go through the meat and hold the moisture. You put the fat side down, your grease is going to drop on your fire, and your meat's going to be dry. If your meat's dry, flip it over.
With 30 years of experience under his belt, Bishop is about as close to a barbecue expert as you're likely to find. Now, he admits he still makes mistakes, but he says oftentimes that's a good thing.
And most stuff, if you learn different, it's going to be on the era. Because you're not going to, if something's good, you're not going to try anything different.
For Simply Southern, I'm Kevin Worthington.
You can find Bishop's Barbecue in select Piggly Wiggly and other stores throughout Alabama. You can also place an order online on their website, which is bishopsbbq.com. Now, there's no need to keep your favorite new barbecue source a secret. There's plenty of ways to share these segments on social media. You can subscribe to the Simply Southern TV YouTube channel, follow Simply Southern TV on Facebook, and read our blog, which is updated every Sunday morning at 6. Just visit simplysouthern.tv.net. We hope that you've enjoyed this look back at a few stories that definitely make us here at Simply Southern proud to be part of this great country. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Mary Wilson. Be sure to come back and see us again next week. We'll be looking for you.